Hello, crypto boys and ghouls, and welcome back to the channel, Tales from the Cryptmancer, where we feature content on play-to-earn games on the blockchain, such as Splinterlands. And in today's video, I have some very interesting data and numbers that I want to talk about today, and it kind of is around the subject of having too many good choices. So imagine a smorgasbord of Splinterlands assets, a bountiful buffet of digital NFTs waiting to be scooped up. And what are we talking about here? Well, stay tuned because I think these numbers are once again going to turn some heads. Now, what are we talking about here? Well, we're talking about new assets that are going to be for sale in the coming weeks, like in the month of September, as well as existing assets that might be, let's say, incentivized to pick up the pace of sales. And what are we talking about? Well, we're talking about roughly the 5 million Chaos Legion packs that are remaining to be sold before Chaos Legion sells out. And Aggro has predicted that those will sell out before the end of November, perhaps. That maybe is an aggressive timeline, but let's just say 5 million Chaos Legion packs selling out sometime in the next few months would be, well, it'd be $20 million worth of assets that would need to be bought. Now, we also have anticipated the announcement of a pre-sale of what is roughly $16 million worth of tower defense assets or packs that are going to be sold here. And that was leaked this evening in the Mav chat, where Aggro had mentioned the number 16 million along with tower defense game. So that's, let's say if those packs are $4 each, that would be 4 million packs at $4 each for $16 million in new assets to potentially buy in the Splinterlands ecosystem. And that also does not include what is also right around the horizon and right around the corner, which it was potentially alluded to by Aggro in previous Mav chat statements, that 3 million Riftwatcher packs could go on sale perhaps the same day as those tower defense assets. And that would be at $5 a pack, $15 million more in new assets available to buy. So all of a sudden, the Splinterlands ecosystem would really have $51 million of assets to figure out what to do with. And these would all be available for sale here in the next few weeks. Now, if you were to ask yourself, do you think Splinterlands could sell $51 million of digital assets in a bear market, right now, anytime soon? You might say it's not feasible. It's not possible. What are you talking about, Tails? Well, let me share with you some data, because I would have probably agreed with you as well if we didn't look at some of the numbers, because, well, the numbers give us an order of magnitude. Now, I'm going to tell you, this is not financial advice. This is not an exact simulation. Don't at me, bro, if you think that, this is a prediction that this is exactly what's going to happen, because no, it's not. It's an estimation. It's a discussion. It's an order of magnitude. So just keep that in mind. And, you don't have to hit me in the comments saying that the math doesn't work because, some of these will be bought with, SPS or at a discount or this and that. We're just talking about numbers here at a order of magnitude level. So that being said, what we saw announced earlier this week was that the Splinterlands team provided data along the lines to back their proposal for the governance proposal for changing the allocation of SPS rewards for ranked battles. We're not going to get into that topic specifically, but I do want to highlight here the numbers, the data that they published that give us some interesting information. They're able to give us a snapshot of the unique players that played the last week in August here in the game. And these are the number of unique accounts that played between August 24th and August 31st. And if you do the math here, there's 180,380 total unique accounts that played and earned in the last week. Now, if we take that $51 million of new assets and we say, let's just see what the average purchase would have to be from those players to sell out all 51 million of Chaos Legion, the remaining Chaos Legion, I should say, the new Tower Defense presale, as well as the Rift Watcher set. Well, that would be, with 180,380 players, that'd be $282 per player would need to be spent to scoop up all three of those asset classes and sell those out. And, that's not actually probably, a crazy amount to imagine. Now, even if we were to say, well, half of those players might be bots, let's just say as an example. Well, even if you were to take that $282 per player and double it and say that, well, the bots aren't going to buy any of these assets, which, honestly, if you're a large bot farm owner, you might want to buy some of these assets, but I digress. Let's just say that half of the players are bots and they're not going to buy any assets here. Then you double that number to roughly $600 per human player, and it's still not necessarily an outrageous number, because for every player that bought $0 worth of Chaos Legion or Rift Watchers or the new Tower Defense assets, you could possibly imagine maybe a whale buying $1,200 or more of those assets. So it's definitely possible that all of these assets could be scooped up in the, let's say near to midterm, even without necessarily external capital flowing into the game. That's new capital, either from guilds or DAOs or external investors. So that is an interesting number to look at because, again, your first gut reaction would be there's no way any of that's selling out. But in reality, it is possible with the player base that we have. Now, I want to also look at one other set of numbers that is very interesting here. Now, I don't have the exact amount of DEC minted currently. I didn't go through that, but according to Neil McSpadden in MavChat, and Neil's obviously a good resource when it comes to numbers and spreadsheets, he's estimating there's 6.4 billion DEC minted and available right now. Now, I didn't verify that number specifically by going to Peak Monsters and Coin Market and stuff like that. But let's just say that number is, again, a rough order of magnitude being accurate. If we agree that that is, let's say, a reasonable amount of DEC in the environment or out in the wild, remember that Chaos Legion packs in the market right now are probably being bought with DEC because DEC is currently under peg. We can look at the price of DEC, but I think when I looked at it last, it was under 0.0007 still. So it's definitely not at peg. So you're getting Chaos Legion packs at a discount if you're paying with DEC. What Agro had mentioned in Mav Chat this evening was Tower Defense assets will be purchasable with DEC as well, meaning those assets would also be at a discount with a DEC purchase versus, let's say, a fiat purchase. So if the remaining 5 million Chaos Legion packs were sold out using DEC and the Tower Defense packs were sold out using DEC, because again, there's a discount on those right now, guess what? That would consume, if DEC was received at peg value, that would consume and put on ice 36 billion DEC. Now remember, Neil McSpadden had estimated there being 6.4 billion DEC minted right now or out in the wild. So if 36 billion were to be put on ice, well, that's 6 times more DEC than there's currently available for purchase or for trade or for swapping. So what does that do to the price of DEC? And also, in accordance, the price of SPS with the burn arbitrage opportunity? Well, I'll let you do some imagination there and let the mind wander for a bit. But one could only imagine, and there's probably a reason that the Splinterlands team rushed to enable the technical burning of SPS to keep DEC at peg. Could they have imagined or foreseen that there could be a large demand for DEC coming in the very near future? Another thing that makes you go, So, also, one thing to remember, and I'll leave you with this final thought, is these three assets that we just talked about: the new tower defense assets, the Rift Watcher set, and the remaining Chaos Legion packs. Well, they don't include other assets that might be looking to be purchased in the Splinterlands ecosystem in the September and October timeframe. Assets that would include the Genesis League Soccer presale, the Splinterfest promo card, future maybe casino or arcade game, the unannounced project, and of course, don't forget Splinterlands nodes, which should be dropping SPS to node holders starting in just a few days, well, on Tuesday of the coming week. So there's a lot going on here. I just wanted to share these numbers with you because I thought they were very interesting. Again, the Splinterlands ecosystem is very complex, and there's no real modeling that we can do dynamically to predict what's going to happen. But what we can look at is just simple models to predict movements, right? General movements. And general movements based on the numbers we just went through are pretty interesting to say the least. Let me know what you think. What are your comments on hearing some of these numbers, and what are your strategies to take advantage potentially of some of these upcoming events that we know are planned here in September and October? Let me know in the comments below, and until next time, keep stacking those stats.
That's entertainment.